Hi guys, it's Joy, and I'm just gonna have kind of a sit and chill with ya video for a few minutes and talk about something that happened recently that's a little bit frustrating. I really debated on whether or not to talk about my health on this channel because I've gotten such negativity from doing so. But I feel like if one good thing can, there are several good things, but if one big good thing that I want to focus on can come out of the things that have happened to me and the bullying and the mistreatment that at times has happened to me during my career on YouTube in the beginning, it's that people know me as the girl who might be ill and is super overweight or gained a bunch of weight. And my hope is if and when people are able to refine this channel, like so many of you have, which I'm so happy you are, they can see that there's a big change. And my hope is by physically seeing there's a big change, it's just the psychology of how people are. When they see that, they'll be a little more intrigued to dive in. And if I talk about some of these health things, I'm hoping that I can raise awareness, not just for conditions like mine, but other mysterious, mystery illnesses, and try to help people who might be going through some similar things. As well as I know that I have an audience that has a large base with disability or chronic illness. Weirdly enough, many of the people that really, really disliked me, like really bad haters, were actually chronically ill, which you wouldn't think. But I think a few things. I think there was this narrative that I was faking. There was this narrative that I just didn't want to have self-control over food and I was trying to get attention. And looking back in hindsight, I can understand it now. I didn't understand the world of how YouTube, the viewership, and even YouTubers themselves work. And I didn't understand this could be a problem with many YouTubers because I just wasn't there, so I didn't understand what was happening. But I think people seeing me lose as much weight as I have in a short amount of time proves many things I've said, such as I'm a type A personality, I'm a hard worker, which anybody who's followed me has already seen the amount of content I do and how I can build a channel, so you guys know that. But that I'm very disciplined with my diet, and the moment we figure out what's wrong and I have a plan, I'm gonna go militant and do what I can to get my health back and my body back. So I thought, unless I feel otherwise, I think there might be a benefit to kind of talking about, I don't know if it'd be a vlog. Would this be considered like a vlog? Like, it's weird. I kind of think of vlogging many times, not every time, but many times people will use it as like, let me show you my life. Like they think their life is super important or cool. And some people's lives are cool, right? Mine's not that cool, guys. In fact, mine if you took the definition of cool, like whatever the antithesis of that, that's what my life is. I'm grateful for where I'm at. I'm grateful for everything that I have. I truly am. So don't take it as I'm not. But I am mostly housebound, and that was before quarantine, and have been this way since about 2015-ish, give or take. We're at, more so 2016, but 2015 is when the health. My health had been bottoming out since 2013. This has been a good 7 or 8 year flare-up issue I've been dealing with that would get better and worse at times, and then just got worse, as I couldn't get stable with it. So to those of you that are new, just to kind of give you a heads up, so I had chronic illness issues, but we didn't know what was wrong. It took about 35 years, literally till I was 35, to fully get diagnosed and to get diagnosed correctly. Before, I was misdiagnosed, not listened to, not taken seriously. The only diagnosis I had for what I was going through was either anxiety, which drives me nuts because they always, if they don't know what's wrong with you, they put anxiety, and it's a way to cover themselves for lawsuits and insurance. So they will diagnose you with mental illness regardless of whether or not you have one. And extreme asthma and allergies. And I went to a specialized asthma and allergy clinic, MD, when I was younger, and I'm furious. How did they saw me from 8 until 20? How did you guys miss this? How did you miss that what's going on with me is most likely a histamine disorder? Why did I not hear about that until I was 35? So I want to just go over a little bit again, some of the issues I have. I'll be brief. I have POTS. POTS is a heart condition. I have dysautonomia. POTS and dysautonomia typically go hand in hand. Dysautonomia is a nervous system issue. It's when your nervous system is sick. It doesn't function correctly. Anybody who remembers me from the past, I'd say I have these chronic fevers that are exhausting for a week. They're low grade, but something's going on. There were so many different weird symptoms and issues, and it all fits within dysautonomia. My nervous system, the automatic functions of your body, misfiring and doing things they shouldn't be doing. POTS and dysautonomia go hand in hand. If you have dysautonomia, many times you will have POTS, but not every time. So, and I also have some extreme digestive issues It's so interesting that we really have very little understanding still of what digestion is, of what our gut is, and gut health. So as you guys know, if you guys remember the other day, and you saw the title of this video, I was super, super excited because December 17th, I'll memorize some of these dates because they're like birthdays for me. I got the go ahead by the person that I work with, who she's the one that's turned me around, healed me, figured out what was going on, and got me the right people to get diagnosed. Just an amazing woman. I can't wait to introduce her to you guys. I keep pushing her. I'm like, you have to put yourself on social media because she's healing people across the globe with all types of issues, with different specialized programs that work. And I know just because I'm a product of it. And so I just keep telling her, I'm like, before I leave this planet, I feel like if I went through all this and had to waste so many young years of my life and go through so much hell, so to speak, when it comes to where I'm at with my body, I want to make sure that I educate and spread this information to as many people as I can. So the least amount of people have to go through the suffering that I went through. It's like, otherwise, what was the point, So anyway, I was super excited because lately, I am about 138, 139 pounds right now, and I'm 5'2.5". It's like 2 pounds away, 1.5 or 2 pounds away from not being technically overweight, and it's very exciting. My weight has been a very frustrating thing, as you guys know. In 2 years, I gained about 170 pounds uncontrollably. Nobody could figure out why, and I think people still don't believe me or they don't understand it. Guys, I was almost a vegetarian. I was eating salads, watching my carbs, watching my sugar. I wouldn't go over 10 grams of sugar. I have to remember back then what I did, but it was like 10 grams of sugar, I think, or 10 whatever it was. My memory's so bad with some of this stuff. I would watch for fats, the right kinds of fats. If I did carbs, they'd be the right kind of carbs. I watched sodium, which is funny because now my diet is super high in salt. It is disgustingly high in salt, but back then I watched sodium. And I did everything you shouldn't do for my conditions, but nobody believed that I was sick, and I couldn't get help to get this diagnosed. So here's what transpired, and here's what's happened. So on this journey of getting diagnosed, we've been fixing my gut. And through fixing my gut, I've been on an all-carnivore diet. Since September 21st of 2019, I have been officially fully all-carnivore. But it was May 6th of 2019 I started to transition. It was a transition because my body was so messed up. I got a couple stomach bugs during that time where the only thing that would hydrate me was a saline IV or Pedialyte. And IVs are scary for me because when they first get introduced into my system, I can black out. None of this stuff is fun. None of this is very fun, guys. So anyway, and so I started the process. I first weeded out all fruits and vegetables. I didn't do a ton of fruits because my understanding was always fruits have a lot of sugar. See, this is what a lot of people don't know about me pre-YouTube. I have always been obsessive about my diet. Obsessive. Eating disorders, issues, you name it. I now realize the reason I was those things was because I had a body that wasn't working, wasn't processing things correctly. Food made me sick, made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't understand why. I would gain weight like that in ways other people wouldn't, and then I couldn't get it off. So I had to be very militant and regimented and really disordered in my eating to even try to maintain a normal body. If you guys want more information on this, I have series I've been doing on Eugenia Cooney. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. And actually, I give a lot of information because we always hear about the psychological issues with eating disorders, which we should, because typically those things go hand in hand, but not always. Sometimes people have eating disorders that stem from a physical issue that then gives you psychological issues, similar to what I had. It's just this is not in popular mainstream narrative. Science and most medical professionals will never tell you this information. So that's why I want to give you information that has helped change my life and get me better. In going full carnivore, I was finally able to lose weight. I hadn't been able to lose weight. Now, there were things I had done because I was working with a woman before that for my heavy metals, which, by the way, guys, if you were to have something that I had, I learned that if you have heavy metal, if you have certain type of toxicity buildup in your system, like I had aluminum and copper toxicity, the carnivore diet won't work. So I did about 1.5 years of getting that stuff out of my system with another woman who was just amazing. I have 2 women that saved my life, and I really hope I can at least, introduce them or shout them out one day, because I'd like you guys to have access to what I had access to in the information. I'm just very careful before I do anything or say anything at this point, because it's the internet and I've had to learn, right? So I have been eating a diet of not just carnivore. Because you might think, oh, that's awful, but well, I guess you can have variety of meats. Not me. My meats mostly consist at this point of red meat, steak, chicken. That's about it. Oh, I will do some bacon. Sometimes I'll do ham. But those are higher histamine foods. I don't do fish. Fish is too high in histamine. I've tried some salmon. Ugh, I can't do it. And I love salmon. I used to live, oh my gosh, salmon, sauteed vegetables, sauteed onions with olive oil and sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, and a little side salad with some Italian dressing that was low carb, low sugar, low salt. That was like my perfect meal back in the day. Now, literally, if most people were on a diet, their cheat days would probably be like what I eat. And my cheat day, if I were able to have one, would be that meal. I miss being able to eat and just feel light and full of energy. The problem is what I ate like that for so long, and it does not work for my condition. So a few things to note that I've gone over a little bit, but many people actually end up having issues as a result of vegetables and fruits. This is stuff you don't hear from a lot of places because vegetables and fruits, they have their own way of defending themselves. It's interesting because the vegetarians and the vegans, my understanding from them is that their reasoning as to why plants don't feel pain versus animals is plants don't have the same type of nervous system. However, if they have ways of defending themselves in the form of making us sick, I might beg to differ. We might just not understand what their nervous system is or how it operates. Or just because they don't have one like us or animals doesn't mean that they don't. By the way, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat plants. I'm just saying I think the arguments are very interesting when you break them down. And plants and fruits can have different things that for some people, not all people, but for some people can be harmful to your gut. So like salicylates, lectins, there are these oxalates, there are these different things that can build up in your system, especially if you're like vegetarian or vegan, and create a lot of different issues, especially digestively. And we think that's one of the things that happened to me, because when you go to an all carnivore diet, you really start releasing a lot of oxalates and lectins and things from your system. And when I went through the heavy metal detox, not all, but a lot of my chronic pain and some of my brain fog and some of the fibromyalgia went away. Not all of it. There was maybe 20, 30%, and that was a huge enough chunk at the time because I was almost non-functioning. And the rest of the way, the majority of my pain, I still get fibromyalgia, but we're talking it's 3% of what it was. It's so much less than what it was. It used to be a constant negative blanket electrical storm going off in my head, shooting pain through my whole body, just excruciating. I don't have days like that anymore. And I'm so grateful because that was horrific. And I think that has to do with getting the oxalates, the salicylates, the lectins out of my system from the diet. The diet has had some amazing benefits. It's been amazing. I have been on an upward trajectory all up until this month. So this is now, I've been on this diet. We're almost going on 16 months. And December, as I told you guys, was a very hard month. December, I left my stimulus channel and I had to make the decision I have to transition over to this channel. I had no expectation of doing it. I'd just been kind of doing this for fun on the side since early October, and it worked. And I'm so happy I made that decision. I'm very, very happy where I'm at right now. And my health, though, took a nosedive. If you guys saw my video, I lost my vision one day and had a horrible POTS dysautonomia flare-up. A POTS dysautonomia flare-up means my heart rate goes crazy. My heart rate, my blood pressure, up, down, all around, and it can last. It used to last sometimes for hours. It would kind of ping pong until it hits the middle. Now, typically, it will last somewhere, if it does flare up, anywhere from 20 minutes to, at a very bad one, 45 minutes to an hour. But this one was at least an hour, and it took about all day to really fully recover from it. And I was very scared, and that showed me, I think what it said was, you've overworked yourself, you're done. If you guys remember, over this last year, I worked for a company to build up their YouTube channel, doing 3 to 5 YouTube videos a day for about 5 months straight, and then went through a federal lawsuit and had to spend tens of thousands of dollars that I barely had. It was one of the most stressful things I've been through to date. One of, and that doesn't top everything, but it was one of. And it kind of destroyed my body. So this December, when I decided to, when I say take a break, I stopped doing the stimulus. The stimulus, 3 videos a day, every single day. Really difficult research topics, was really, really hard. That's too much for anybody. Most YouTubers complain about 1 video a day. 1 video a day is a breeze for me. Because I love what I do, and this is fun for me. Like getting dressed up and getting in front of a camera. You guys don't know you can't smell. I wish you had smell-o-vision. I put on all these nice Victoria's Secret body sprays and lotions and just chill with everybody. This is super fun, and I get to educate people and give information I think could be helpful. And I really get to enjoy that. On top of that, I get to dress up. I'm always in my pajamas, and I love dressing up. But being chronically sick, still working on it. I got nowhere to go. It's COVID season. So it's nice to put on my little sweater dresses. By the way, people keep asking about my sweater dresses and my cardigans. So I'll tell you, or my sweaters, these are mostly what you're going to see. Most of them are sweater dresses. So this one's an actual dress. It's blue and it flares out. I have this in 5 colors. If I find something I like and there are several colors I like and it's cheap, I'll snap it. I'll just snatch them up. I don't mind. I just like to enjoy what I wear, and it's super soft and it's super warm and comfy, which is really nice because it's January. So anyway, okay. I've been through a lot of stress, and December's been a really, really hard health month. And then, as you guys know, I'm just going to be totally honest. So TMI for some of you, I was hit with a trifecta for my illness. Not only am I recovering from just the exhaustion of what I've been through and changing content and the stress of that and changing over channels, which was very, very stressful. Putting myself back on this channel, that was stressful in itself because I will be honest, I was not sure of this decision. Didn't know if it would be healthy for me. But then, so part of my illness, and this is very frustrating, I wish men really understood more about how difficult it is to have a menstrual cycle, because it's joked about how, oh, it's uncomfortable, it must be awful. Men, if you're watching, I want you to understand adult women are sick 25 to 50% of their lives. They are ill. That's what menstruating is for us. And I don't think men understand it that way. I think if they did, they might have a different outlook or be more compassionate and sometimes less insulting about what we have to go through. Yes, it's a body's process that naturally happens, but very few things at this point, including what happens in our body, are natural because of all the chemical buildups, all the heavy metal buildups, all of the hormonal disruptors in our food, in our water, in our birth controls, right? There are so many things that can, end up really screwing up your hormones. And I'm lucky because for many years, my menstrual situation was not a big deal. In fact, it could last 1 or 2 days and it was done. And it was only a couple times out of the year I felt cramps that were even uncomfortable. I was like, what is happening? I would ask my doctors, I'm like, is something wrong with me? Is this an infertility thing? And they would say, no. Some people, if this is how you've always been. Turns out that was completely wrong. It turns out because of my disorders, I have low blood volume. I don't have enough blood volume to actually produce a menstrual cycle like I should. Nobody ever told me that. And since I transitioned to an all carnivore, and specifically I eat mostly red meat diet, because I do chicken maybe once, maybe twice a week. It's mostly red meats. I now have a good 3 or 4 day situation that goes on that is more normal. What's frustrating though is that a couple things, because I'm losing blood that my body can't really afford to lose, I get very weak on the last day or towards the end. And really in general, I've got to be very careful all of those days. It's not as much super painful. I mean, it can be, which I know a lot of women go through, like PCOS, and my heart goes out to. That's so awful. For me, I have to be careful to not go into episodes. On top of that, when you menstruate, your histamines go up. That's one of the reasons as women, we end up gaining weight and retaining water. There are a few reasons, but one has to do with histamine. So it's so frustrating because there are some days you guys will see me, if I'm super red-faced, I'm having a bad histamine day. That doesn't always mean menstrual issues. That can be all kinds of things going on, but that's where my flushed face sometimes will come into play. And it's really interesting because I remember, and this is such a weird thing to remember, when I was 20 years old, I was hanging out with my dad one time, and he asked me, he goes, are you on your period? And by the way, me and my dad aren't close at all. And I was like, what? And I was like, and I didn't know how to answer that. He's like, well, your face is really flushed, and your mom's face would get flushed when she was on her period. And I sat there going, I don't know you that well. And that is the weirdest, most uncomfortable question to ask. I don't hold it against him or anything. It's just weird. I'm like, maybe it's just a socially awkward thing, but I'm actually glad he said it because it helped me revert back to hearing that. And I realized that what I have is genetic in my family. We think we just have asthma and allergies in my family line. It's histamine disorder that affects each one of us differently, some more severe than the others. I have a more severe case, unfortunately. I know I'm going into a lot of information. Like I said, this is going to be just kind of a sit and chill video, but there's a point to this. The point is, I love vegetables. I was a vegetarian, bordering on a vegan for a reason. I love vegetables. I love them. My favorite thing to do is to eat a big old salad and feel happy and fulfilled and just light and energetic. I miss that. I miss the feeling of crunching dark leaf lettuce and tomatoes and onions. I miss it. Most of my diet was vegetables. So, and on top of that, guys, I don't know if you guys remember this, but if somebody would ask, what's the food you hate the most in this world? Steak. And what is it I have to eat a lot of? Steak. I have to eat a lot of ribeye steak. It's disgusting. And I have to put butter and salt on it. A ton of salt. And if I'm having dehydration issues, a half stick of butter. It's disgusting. I hate it. I hate every second of it. But it's been my diet. And I've told people if I have to eat bricks to get better, I will. And this is I would literally laugh. I'm like, here's my bricks. Give me a plate of bricks. So imagine how excited I was that I have, gone from 270 to about 138 pounds. I'm, what is it? My goal is to weigh about 105, somewhere in there. And I'd like to do 105, 110, maybe 100, but I don't really want to do much lower than that. I don't want to be unhealthy by any means. And so and really I would say my comfortable weight is going to be 115, 120. So, and from that standpoint, I've got about 15 to 20 pounds to go, which it's awesome to be like, instead of having, 170 or 100 or 50, the goal is closer. But as you guys know, especially with women, the less weight you have to lose, typically the harder it's going to be to lose it. Like the first month I lost weight, I lost 20 pounds, but I had so much water retention. Like it's not uncommon when you go on a diet, when you're extremely overweight or obese, for that to happen. And it is interesting with my body. My body doesn't typically lose weight like other people's. I won't lose 1 pound here or a couple pounds here in a week. Typically I'll go for a month and a half, nothing happens, and then I have 10 or 15 drop off. That's another thing. It has to do with my conditions, water retentions, liver function, the liver functioning, the liver filtering out the things that's trying to repair in my body. So there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on with me. There's a reason I'm telling you about all these weird things, and I know some of you guys might have heard this on repeat, so forgive me. But imagine my excitement when 15 months into my diet, the person I'm working with finally says, okay, we need you to try some vegetables. Hallelujah, y'all. The room lit up. I heard the choirs of heaven sing. I'm so excited. I'm like, how much taco salad can I have? I love taco salad too. And she was like, we're going to start with a tablespoon of carrots. Okay, I'm still excited. I don't care. It's a tablespoon. I'm going to savor it. Now, I was hit with the trifecta. The trifecta is I just had a flare up, the eye flare up that I'm still kind of trying to make sure and keep in balance with. I have a menstrual cycle, boom, a cold. So my cold was not just the irritating cold and flu. And over this year, I've had irritating colds and flus that went away with very minor setbacks to me, except for like histamine and stuff. Nope. Most days over the last week have been fighting heart flare-ups. It's been awful. It has been not fun, exhaustion, because I was hit with a whammy of all of this. And the cold came, the height of the cold came right at the end of a menstrual cycle, meaning my body was already shot. So this week has super not been fun. So even though the 17th was when I was told I could try the carrots, I put it off because I was like, well, let me get over my menstrual cycle. And then, let me get over all these things. So now here's where I'm at. A couple days ago, even though things are still a bit shaky with me, I've had some stomach issues, like really bad stomach pain lately out of nowhere. I was like, okay, let me try these carrots. Very, very excited. So I had my carrots. Now, my carrots, this is no joke. I think I did about 3 tablespoons of carrots that I chopped up like super fine, and I boiled them for like 45 minutes on high because we want to get them as mushy as possible. And I can't remember what it's called. I have a meeting this week with my person, but it's there's a certain enzyme that your digestive system, your body creates to break down vegetables. And because I haven't eaten vegetables in so long, there's a very big possibility it's going to take, it's like it can take up to 3 days for your body to create that enzyme. You're probably going to feel a little bloated and slightly uncomfortable. That's okay. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Well, I got extreme stomach pain from the carrots. Yesterday, when I tried them yesterday, so I tried them a couple days ago, extreme pain, minor flare-up. Yesterday, stomach pain, another minor flare-up after eating them. And on top of that, I've gained 5 pounds since then. I haven't done anything different in my diet. It's not like I went on some kind of bender. In fact, I can't. I cannot have sugar or carbohydrates. There's only a certain amount I can have within certain cheeses and things, because a lot of times all food will have a little bit of something, right? But I think I can't go over 10, and it has to be the right ones. So it's not like I can just go have a bunch of fun doing something. And I also know sometimes you can gain weight. Like for me, if I were to have too much butter, that can maybe put on a couple pounds for a day or so, but then it goes right away. So yeah, this was about 5 or 6 pounds in a 2-day period from a tablespoon of carrots. And you might ask, how do I know? Because with what I have with my nervous system, I can feel everything very intensely in my body. I can feel things going on that most people wouldn't be able to because my nervous system is overactive. My nerves are more sensitive. It's not fun, guys. It is super unfun. Before I got diagnosed with POTS and dysautonomia, right before I remember, and I was having the flare-ups, I would tell people, I'm breathing just fine. I have no asthma. My blood's not circulating. I'm not getting oxygen correctly. Parts of my body are falling asleep. Something's wrong with my blood. Something's wrong with my blood. I can feel the movement of my blood and when it's having issues. I am not joking. It's weird. I have found out other people don't experience that. Turns out I was right. It was because of the blood volume issues. So the carrots made me bloated, but what I noticed, not only did my histamines go up a little bit from that, super thirsty, and I drink, and then I couldn't pee. That many times is a sign of a histamine issue, but it also can be a sign of just having water retention. So literally 2 days of 1 tablespoon of carrots caused that much damage. Talked to my person, they said, hold off. Let's wait till your body's in a better place. It can process everything better. If you're having any type of flare-ups or if you're having weight gain, let's hold off. And this is where, and I don't mean to complain because guys, I'm genuinely so insanely grateful that my body's working when it didn't before. But it's so frustrating when I see people who, and this has happened so much to me over the last 5 years with all of this, who just think I'm the world's biggest liar and they don't believe me about this, but this isn't just me. So many other people, so many other women by society standards are doing the right diet. And not only is it not working, it might be backfiring. And what happens? You end up getting psychological issues and mental illness because everybody gaslights you. Nobody believes you. Something must be wrong with you, but there's something wrong. And then eating disorders can happen. It can create this whole cycle. And I'll be honest, that first bite of carrots after having no vegetables, which are my favorite, no vegetables for as long as I did, was heavenly. I put a little bit of butter. I put like 1/8 of a tablespoon of butter on them, some salt, because I have to salt everything like crazy. I chewed for like 30 seconds each bite. There were 3 bites. Best thing I've ever had. You will never taste something better. It was just amazing. So I'm really sad. I'm really disappointed that my body is not in a better place. But here's something really cool that I feel like I'm going to really be incorporating into 2021. I'm somebody, if you guys have watched me, then you might know this about me. I am super hard on myself. If I make mistakes, when I realize it, I beat myself up. I am somebody that I am always super aggressive I can be an aggressive person kind of in general, like with goal setting and business, but with myself, I'm very aggressive. I built a channel, over 100,000 subscribers in 3 months on stimulus news, 3 to 5 videos a day, every single day for 5 months being chronically ill. I don't know what to call that, but aggression. That energy I have though screws me up many times. I'm the opposite of many people. I'm somebody that you super have to rein in because I will hurt myself going after goals and things. But I'm also very hard on myself, and I got so mad, and I'm like, really, body? We've been at this for 15 months of the right herbs, the right concoctions, the perfect diet for what my health issues are, and you're telling me I can't handle a tablespoon of flipping carrots. I've been on an upward trajectory with my health, and why is it in December it's just bottomed out again? And I started getting really hard on myself and feeling really down on myself. I think this also is very indicative of my former eating disorder mindset, and that's another thing. It started to kick in a little bit, seeing I gained 5 pounds from my body reacting to carrots. Of all the things, and I have all these weird reactions at times, and I was really frustrated. And it's great because I've gotten to a place now when that will come up, but I can also say, you know what? Chill. Chill, self. It's okay. It's okay that I'm still having some issues. And I try to remind myself, look at what I went through over the last year. And I did successfully. I was successful at what I did. I killed it on YouTube. I won in federal court. Look at everything that I've gone through in the totality of what it is, right? So it's normal that when I finally let my body calm down a little bit and transition to a channel that's going to be easier and more fun for me and way less research and all of that, you know what? My body might have time adjusting because I'm finally letting it calm down to do so. And that's okay. And you know what? My body reacting to a stupid tablespoon of carrots, that's okay. I haven't had them in 15 months, and all the vegetables before that made me very, very sick. It's okay that my body needs time and compassion to heal. And why do I feel so worthless that I wouldn't give myself that I would give other people freely without thought? And that's been striking a nerve with me. And I feel like I don't have to be hard on myself. You know what? Maybe in a couple months, I'll try the carrots again. And from the carrots, then once I can be on a cup of carrots, I work up to that, then we work on other vegetables. And that's okay. If my body still needs to just do meat and salts and butter and right now, it's so gross. That's fine. And you know what? It's okay if I'm angry, and it's okay if I'm disappointed about it. And that's another thing I'm really allowing myself to be. It's okay that I'm upset because I want vegetables. It's okay that I'm upset that I've been on this diet. Like, I'm upset that I've been on this diet this long and I'm not to where I want to be weight-wise. If y'all ate the amounts I did and the way I did, most people would have lost the weight fully in a year. It's taking me longer because if this were just a healthy body that was obese or overweight, this would be a different story. And my weight issues are because I'm sick. So all of these systems have to function correctly for my body to be able to lose the weight. And that's very frustrating. Right now, I wanted to be 110 pounds and super happy and wearing all my fun little clothes again and just enjoying being in this body. But I'm not. This is where I'm at. I'm in a month where I've had bad flare-ups. I still can't eat vegetables. I failed at eating vegetables and I gained weight in the process. And gaining weight for me sucks because if I'm gaining weight because I have a body system issue, it might not go away quickly. It could take 2 or 3 weeks or a month. It's not the same as everybody else. And you know what? That's okay. And I'm trying to tell myself and remind myself and be the embodiment of it's okay to have compassion for yourself. You can hold yourself accountable and want better and do better for yourself, but I don't have to beat myself up and treat myself as horribly as the past relationships and the people in my life have. Sometimes I almost think I use my mind as a substitute to do what they aren't doing now because I got rid of them. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. I wanted to share what happened and just kind of give you guys a little bit of an update. I think January is going to be a better month. Every day is getting better and better. And I have a feeling that after my body has kind of, healed from the month of January and the things that have happened, I think I'm going to be on an upward trajectory. I would think probably by March, I'll try the vegetables again. And, if the channel's in the right place and this is what I'm doing, I'll update you guys and let you guys know how it's going and my transition back onto vegetables. I'm so excited to be able to do that and get vegetables and have the diet I want again that I can't wait. But I'm also remembering it's not this life, this journey I'm on is not just about me and my wants, my selfish wants. It might sound weird that wanting carrots or vegetables is a selfish want, but that's a selfish want for me. I have to remember I have this whole ecosystem full of life called a body that has its own functions, its own systems, it's doing its own thing. And I have to work and live in respect to that. And if it needs more time for everything I put it through this last year, I'm going to give myself that because I'm worth it and I deserve it. And so are you guys. So I thought I would just kind of share the journey of where I'm at. I'm feeling better and better. The heart issues are less and less. Today I haven't had one. Yay, but I'm just in a state of exhaustion. And when I get this way, if I push it too much, then I'll activate my vagus nerve and I'll have a ton of issues. Vagus nerve is not fun. That's the one where it feels like you got an alien crawling from your butt to your throat and you get all this weakness. And if you're not careful, you can get the real fun gastroparesis. So I have to be very careful still, but I just thought I'd give you guys a quick little update on where things are at and how I'm feeling. I really enjoy sharing my health journey with you guys. And I hope that, maybe this will help some people. And if you like the video, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell. and share this video with people you know who are chronically sick, people who might have mystery illness, people you might think benefit from this or would find this interesting. I'd love to share this information with people as much as I can. Something else I thought I would address very quickly. I know I've had a few people, and it's not been mean by any means, but some people have. They're frustrated because in a lot of my videos, I reference back to myself and I reference back to my illness. And I get to some people that might be frustrating. I can understand that. Guys, I talk from my experiences and I talk about things that I know. And so many times when I'm talking about a mainstream story, I'll relate it to something I've been through, or I will talk about the illnesses I've been through simply because that's my life. I don't want illness to be my identity, but the truth is that at the moment, it's the majority. It makes up the center of my life. I'm working hard so that doesn't have to happen, but I'm going to be realistic and I'm going to be okay with the fact that this is where it is right now. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the very lucky people that stuck to my guns and said, nope, I'm going to find a way out of this no matter how many people say no or that I'm crazy or try to hurt me. And I did. And I'm grateful that I was able to do that. And all I want to do is just be able to give that back to you guys. So I'm sorry if it can get frustrating that I talk about my health a lot. If you're looking for people who just do straight up documentary commentary, this might not be that channel. And that's okay, right? There are so many other amazing channels who just do that kind of style. And I'm sure that might be better suited. And not to say I want to lose anybody. I love having y'all. I just want to say that that's, the content that I create, if I make changes, it's because I feel to make changes. I've played the YouTube game enough that so many people will have very strong opinions about what you need to do. And almost none of those people ever have the experience of not only being a YouTuber, but a successful YouTuber. So it's always interesting how many armchair YouTubers you're going to talk to who they know the way that you need to do things, but they have no clue what they're talking about. So I remind that of myself all the time, and I'm going to create the channel the way I need to. And this channel will always be a channel that's focused on trying to help everybody as much as I can through their health needs and their health journey. So there's going to be a lot of talk about that, just a heads up. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Have any of you had issues eating fruits and vegetables and gotten super sick? Do you guys have issues with your gut, with leaky gut issues, with, IBS, with gastroparesis, with oxalates, salicylates, lectins? Do you guys have any similar issues? Let me know. Do you guys have POTS, dysautonomia, other nervous system issues, chronic diseases, autoimmune that, really affect your gut, your weight? And how many women is it at this point? Sound off. I think the more we share our stories, and obviously within respect to your own privacy, the more we can empower one another, because you never know if there's a woman or a man trying to desperately search for what's wrong with their health. They could come across one of these videos, see some of the comments, and start to be able to go down paths to ask their doctor to test them for things. So I think in that regard, I would love to keep that conversation open. So sound off in the comments. Okay, guys, I'm going to go relax because I don't have a choice. This body is demanding it, and I'm going to listen because bad things happen when I don't. So I just want to say, as always, thank you guys so much for coming on this health journey with me, and thank you so much for just always being here. I can't say enough how extremely, unendingly grateful I am to and I feel like I say it so much it sounds like a broken record, but I am so genuinely, insanely grateful to every single one of you that watches me and that supports me. I have such an emotional connection with my two audiences, my stimulus audience and you guys are a very special connection because you guys were people that watched me go through hell and back and slander and lies and people being horrible to me on YouTube. And 3 years later, I'm back and you stuck by me, and dang it, I didn't want to do this, but I'm always going to be grateful to you guys for that. I can't help it. So I know I say it a lot, but it's genuine. I'm always so grateful because you guys didn't have to do that. You guys saw the best in me when almost nobody else would, and I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you so much for the warm welcome I've gotten, and I'll always do my best to help you guys. And hopefully we can turn the lemons y'all have seen me go through and what you've gone through into some really good lemonade. I almost cursed. I just stopped myself. Okay, guys. Quit it. My balls are watering. All right. Take care. Blessings. Lots of love till the next video. I'm wishing everybody love, and I'm giving y'all hugs, mwah, and kisses.